So here is our completed proof where, again, the given is where we start. The given is the first statement we make, and the reason is given. Once we have that information, we now want to think, what can we do with it? How can we show that the triangle is an obtuse triangle? Sometimes it's even helpful to work backwards and think, well, what would make it an obtuse triangle? What would be that reasoning, right? We know that the definition of an obtuse triangle is that one of the angles in the triangle, the degree measure is greater than 90 degrees. So we need to show that one of the angles has that measure or degrees higher or greater than 90. So how would we know that? Well, in order to know the angle measures, we need to solve for x. So we need to set up an equation. And that kind of gets your head thinking and gets you set up to think that if you have the measures inside a triangle, you have those interior angle measures, that they should have a sum of 180 degrees. So the second statement we can make is that the measure of angle D plus the measure of angle E plus the measure of angle F equals 180 degrees. And again, state your reason is that the interior angles of a triangle sum to 180 degrees. Now, if they have that sum, we can substitute. We know what the measure of the angles are with expressions, so we can substitute, and that's the reason we can write the line that we have 4x plus 7 plus 9x plus 5 plus 2x plus 3 equals 180. Then we want to solve that equation. So this is where your algebra properties come back into play. The first thing you would do is combine like terms of 4x plus 9x plus 2x to get 15x. And then 7 plus 5 plus 3 will get you plus 15 equals 180. So again, that reason was combining like terms. And then to solve for x, we have our next two lines. We'll have, instead of 5x plus 15 equals 180, the next line is 5x equals 165 because we're subtracting 15 from both sides. So the reason is subtraction. And then line 6 is x equals 11 because the reason is we're dividing both sides by 15. So that would be division. So we have what x equals, which means we can now substitute that in for x in the measure of our angles. So, or the expressions that are representing the measures. So substitution is the reason we can now say the measure of angle D is 4 times 11 plus 7, which is 51. The measure of angle E is 9 times 11 plus 5, which is 104. And then the measure of angle F is equal to 2 times 11 plus 3, which is 25. So we have 51 degrees, 104 degrees, and 25 degrees. So remember, what's the goal? We're trying to prove that the triangle is an obtuse triangle. So now, are we able to do that, or do we need to keep going with more statements? You should say, no, we're all good. We can have that last statement be what we were trying to prove, that triangle DEF is an obtuse triangle, because you have that measure of angle E, 104 degrees, is greater than 90 degrees. And again, that's the definition of an obtuse triangle. That's our reasoning. So we don't need to add in any more steps into the proof or statements or reasons. We've reached our goal, and this is the end of the proof. We've completed it. So think back over these 3 proofs that we've shown in these examples and think about, again, where you begin with your givens, how you end with your proof, and how important it is to really take what you think in your head and put it down into the proof with your statements and the reasons for how you get there.